Have you ever looked at your backyard and thought, it needs something magical, but you don't know where to start? In today's video, I'll show you how ordinary branches, twigs, and logs can be transformed into 30 unique garden edging ideas that will completely change the way you see your outdoor space. Welcome to Archon Aesthetic Studio, where we share garden ideas, makeovers, and creative landscaping to inspire your own backyard transformation. This video includes timestamps so you can jump to the ideas you love most. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, every idea can be customized with what you already have. Maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this content, there's a real story and a real family. This isn't just a video. It's a piece of my heart. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it truly matters. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just helping a creator grow. You're helping a dream stay alive. You're giving a small family hope, one click at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing me. One rustic log wall border for a cottage-style backyard. Imagine stepping into your backyard and being greeted by a rustic wall of logs, standing tall and sturdy, like something out of a countryside cottage dream. Creating this edging is easier than it looks, and it gives your garden a strong, natural frame that feels timeless. Start by collecting logs of similar height and diameter. Reclaimed wood or fallen tree trunks work beautifully. Dig a shallow trench along your flower bed. Then place each log upright, side by side, tapping them firmly into the soil so they sit snug and even. The key is consistency. Keep the tops aligned for a polished look, or vary the heights slightly if you prefer a more organic, staggered style. Once in place, backfill the soil to lock the logs securely, blending them seamlessly with your garden bed. This edging not only defines your space but also adds texture, warmth, and a sense of permanence. Over time, moss and climbing plants may soften the logs, giving them even more charm. It's a makeover idea that transforms your backyard into a beautiful, welcoming retreat, crafted with nothing more than nature's own materials. Two, split log edging with wildflowers blooming alongside. A split log edging is one of the simplest yet most effective ways to bring a polished, natural look to your garden. By slicing logs lengthwise, you create a flat surface that hugs the edge of your flower bed, offering both strength and rustic beauty. To begin, choose logs that are thick and sturdy. Reclaimed timber or fallen branches are perfect for this project. Using a saw, split each log carefully down the middle. Once you have enough halves, dig a shallow trench along your desired border. Place each split log with the flat side facing inward, creating a smooth line that naturally frames your plants. Pack the soil around the base to hold them firmly in place. The beauty of this design is how it blends seamlessly with both formal flower beds and wildflower patches. Over time, the wood will weather, softening into silver gray tones that look even more authentic. Imagine cheerful daisies, cornflowers, and echinacea spilling over the edge, as if nature itself designed the border. It's a timeless makeover idea that's as sustainable as it is stunning, transforming ordinary wood into a beautiful backyard feature. 3. Horizontal log layers creating a natural retaining wall. Horizontal log layers are a brilliant way to turn a simple garden edge into a feature that feels both sturdy and inviting. By stacking logs lengthwise, you create a natural retaining wall that adds gentle height and structure to your flower beds. Start with straight, evenly sized logs. Reclaimed wood or old fence posts work wonderfully. Dig a shallow trench at the base of your border and lay the first row of logs firmly in place. Then, stack a second layer directly above, staggering the joints like brickwork for added stability. For a bolder look, add a third layer, securing each log with wooden stakes driven into the ground at intervals. This design works especially well on sloped or uneven ground, where the wall helps to hold soil in place. The result is a border that not only defines your garden but also creates depth, making your flowers and herbs appear to cascade naturally from a raised bed. Over time, the logs may host moss or creeping thyme, adding character with every season. It's a perfect DIY makeover idea that blends practicality with rustic backyard beauty. Four, raised bed log frames with vibrant summer vegetables. A raised bed made from logs is one of the most practical and charming ways to grow both vegetables and flowers in your backyard. The thick logs act as natural frames, creating a sturdy structure that keeps soil in place while giving your garden a rustic, handcrafted look. To start, collect logs of similar length and stack them horizontally to form a rectangle or square. Secure the corners with wooden stakes or by notching the ends so the logs lock together. Fill the frame with nutrient-rich soil and compost, then plant a mix of summer vegetables like juicy tomatoes, crunchy carrots, or fresh greens. For an extra burst of color and natural pest control, tuck marigolds or nasturtiums between the crops. This design not only makes gardening easier, raising the soil level helps with drainage and reduces bending, but also transforms your backyard into a vibrant, organized space. Over time, the logs will weather beautifully, blending with the garden while supporting seasons of fresh harvests. It's a makeover idea that's both functional and picturesque, perfect for a sustainable backyard retreat. Five, staggered height log fence giving rhythm to the garden. If you're looking to add both structure and artistic flair to your backyard, a staggered height log fence edging is a brilliant choice. Instead of keeping all the logs the same size, this design embraces variety. Tall and short logs arranged side by side to create a flowing, rhythmic effect along your garden beds. To build it, gather logs of different diameters and cut them into varied lengths. Dig a narrow trench along the garden border. Then place the logs upright in the soil, mixing taller pieces with shorter ones for balance. The result feels dynamic, as if the border itself has movement, guiding the eye naturally along the garden path. This design pairs beautifully with colorful perennials and berry bushes, making the flowers appear to dance against the playful log background. Over time, the wood will weather and settle, becoming part of the landscape while retaining its charming wave-like form. More than just edging, it's a landscaping feature that turns your backyard into a living work of art, perfect for those who love rustic beauty with a touch of creativity. 6. Woven branch border for a vintage English garden look. A woven branch border, often called a wattle fence, is one of the oldest and most charming ways to frame a garden bed. Its timeless design brings an authentic vintage feel, as if your backyard has been transported to the English countryside. To create this edging, begin by driving sturdy wooden stakes into the soil along your garden's edge, spacing them evenly about 20 to 30 centimeters apart. Next, gather long, flexible branches. Willow, hazel, or any pliable wood works perfectly. Starting at the base, weave the branches in and out of the stakes, alternating directions with each layer to build strength and texture. The weaving process itself feels almost meditative, as the pattern slowly emerges into a sturdy yet graceful border. Once complete, the woven edging acts as both a functional frame and a decorative accent, keeping soil and flowers neatly contained. Over time, herbs like thyme or strawberries can spill over the edges, softening the structure with natural beauty. This rustic makeover idea not only recycles natural materials but also adds character and storytelling to your garden, creating a backyard that feels both handcrafted and timeless. Seven. Rustic fence-style branch edging with weathered texture. For those who love a garden that feels timeless and slightly wild, a rustic fence-style branch edging is the perfect choice. This design is simple yet full of character. Branches cut to uniform height are placed vertically into the ground, creating a low, natural fence. To begin, gather branches of similar thickness, ideally ones that already have an aged, weathered appearance. Dig a shallow trench along your border and plant each branch upright, side by side, pressing the soil firmly around the base. The beauty lies in the imperfections. Slight differences in texture and shape give the edging its vintage charm. Over time, moss and lichen may settle on the branches, making the border look like it has always been part of the garden. This edging works beautifully for framing flower beds, vegetable plots, or even pathways, blending seamlessly into an English or French-inspired landscape. Add a few berry bushes or creeping herbs nearby, and the fence softens further, becoming part of the living garden. More than just edging, it's a piece of natural storytelling, an invitation to slow down and enjoy the beauty of a handcrafted backyard space. Eight. Diagonal branch zigzag edging for unique landscaping. Diagonal branch edging is a fantastic way to bring personality and rhythm into your garden design. Instead of placing branches upright or horizontal, this style uses diagonal placement to create a repeating zigzag or crisscross pattern that immediately draws the eye. To build it, start by cutting strong, medium-thick branches of similar length. Dig a shallow trench along your chosen border and place the branches in alternating directions, overlapping them slightly to form X shapes. This pattern naturally locks the branches in place while giving your edging a sturdy yet artistic look. For a creative twist, you can paint some of the branches in pastel tones or earthy shades, blending rustic texture with a playful touch of color. Once installed, the zigzag edging provides both form and function, helping to hold soil in place while adding a striking decorative element. It works especially well along pathways or flower beds where you want a border that feels unique yet handcrafted. Over time, herbs, or ground covers may weave through the gaps, softening the lines and creating a living edge that feels alive with every season. Nine, layered branch frames combined with creeping thyme. Layered branch frames are a simple yet charming way to create edging that feels both rustic and alive. By stacking branches horizontally in overlapping layers, you can build a sturdy wooden frame that naturally blends into your garden. To begin, collect medium-sized branches with fairly straight shapes. Lay the first layer directly on the soil, then add another layer on top, slightly overlapping to create depth and texture. Secure the ends with wooden stakes or thicker logs to hold the structure firmly in place. The magic of this design comes when you introduce creeping plants such as thyme, ajuga, or ground-hugging herbs. As they grow, they cascade gently over the branches, softening the edges and filling the gaps with greenery and delicate blooms. Over time, the frame feels less like an added structure and more like a natural extension of the garden itself. This edging works beautifully for raised flower beds or pathways, offering both definition and softness in one. It's a makeover idea that proves even simple recycled branches can be transformed into something elegant, practical, and uniquely alive. Ten, stacked branch wall edging for a beautiful backyard path. A stacked branch wall edging is the perfect way to bring structure and charm to a backyard pathway. This design looks like a small woodpile, but instead of being stored for the fire, it serves as a beautiful, functional border for your garden. To create it, collect thick branches or small logs of similar length. Start by laying the first layer directly on the soil, fitting the pieces side by side as tightly as possible. Then, add a second and third layer, staggering the joints so the wall stays stable, just like building with bricks. For extra security, drive wooden stakes into the ground at intervals to hold the pile in place. The effect is a low, natural wall that guides the eye along your garden path while helping to keep soil and plants neatly contained. Over time, moss, herbs, or even wild strawberries can grow between the gaps, turning the border into a living feature. This edging design blends rustic beauty with functionality, making every walk through your backyard path feel like a journey into a charming woodland retreat. (11) Wattle fence with thin branches framing a flower border. A wattle fence made with thin branches is one of the most graceful ways to edge a flower bed. It carries centuries of tradition, yet feels timeless and fresh when used in a modern backyard. To create one, start by placing sturdy stakes evenly along your border. Hazel or willow stakes work perfectly. Then, gather thin, pliable branches and weave them in and out between the stakes, pressing them down gently so each new layer sits tightly against the last. The tighter the weave, the stronger and neater the fence will look. This edging not only defines the flower bed but also adds a sense of craftsmanship and charm, as if the garden has been lovingly hand-built. Over time, herbs or ground covers can spill over the fence, blending it even more seamlessly into the landscape. Perfect for framing colorful perennials, this wattle edging is lightweight, sustainable, and can be easily refreshed by adding new branches each season. More than just practical, it creates a romantic cottage garden feel, making your backyard look like a living painting of rustic beauty. "12. Circle branch rings as whimsical fairy garden edges. Circle branch edging is a playful way to bring a sense of whimsy and creativity into your backyard. By bending thin, flexible branches into loops, you create a repeating pattern of circles that feel almost like stepping into a fairy garden. To begin, gather pliable branches such as willow or young hazel. Bend each one carefully into a circular shape, securing the ends with garden twine or small wire. Once you've formed enough rings, place them side by side along the edge of your flower bed, pushing the bases slightly into the soil so they stay upright. The repeating loops create a border that is both decorative and functional, framing your plants with a gentle, artistic rhythm. This style works beautifully for gardens that embrace color and playfulness. Imagine daisies, pansies, and violas spilling through the circles, or tiny strawberries growing at their base. Over time, moss or ground covers may weave naturally around the rings, adding even more charm. Circle branch edging is not just about defining space. It's about storytelling, inviting anyone who walks into your backyard to feel like they've entered a magical, handcrafted sanctuary. "13. Braided branch rope border with colorful paint finish. A braided branch border is the perfect project if you want your garden to feel both artistic and alive. By twisting thin branches together like a rope, you create a flexible edging that's easy to shape along curves, corners, or straight paths. To begin, gather pliable branches such as willow, hazel, or even grapevine. Choose 3 similar lengths, then braid them tightly, crossing one over the other until you have a rope-like structure. Secure the ends with twine or wire. Lay the braided edging directly along your flower bed, or fix it in place with short wooden pegs if you want extra stability. For a fresh and creative twist, paint sections of the braid in bright, cheerful colors using weather-resistant paint. This playful detail transforms the border into a work of garden art, especially when paired with vibrant blooms like pansies, dianthus, and coneflowers. Over time, creeping thyme and other ground covers can weave through the braid, softening the look while keeping its unique style. It's a simple, upcycled makeover idea that proves garden edging doesn't just have to be functional. It can also tell a colorful story. "14. Rustic Criss-Cross branch pattern for garden makeover. The Criss-Cross branch pattern is a wonderful way to give your garden edging both structure and artistry. Instead of simply laying or stacking branches, this design uses angled placement to create repeating X-shapes that feel dynamic and handcrafted. To start, gather medium-sized branches with enough length to overlap. Dig shallow holes along your border and set the first pair of branches diagonally, crossing each other to form an X. Continue the pattern by adding more branches, overlapping slightly for strength. Once complete, the border forms a rhythmic, decorative edge that looks like a rustic woven lattice. For extra stability, small stakes can be added at intervals to hold the structure in place. The beauty of this design is how it complements the plants behind it, Flowers and herbs naturally peek through the gaps, softening the structure while highlighting its unique geometry. Imagine bright coneflowers or trailing thyme spilling over the X-shaped edging, blending structure with softness. Over time, the wood will weather into silvery tones, adding even more character. This is not just a border, it's a DIY makeover detail that transforms your backyard into a storybook-inspired retreat. (15) Branch frame filled with stones and seasonal flowers. A branch frame filled with stones is a brilliant way to mix rustic charm with modern neatness in your garden edging. To build this design, start by collecting sturdy branches and cutting them to size. Arrange them into a simple frame, rectangular or square, along your flower bed or pathway. Secure the corners with wooden stakes or by tying them with strong twine for extra support. Once the frame is in place, fill the inside with smooth river stones or pebbles. The stones add weight, helping to anchor the frame while providing excellent drainage. To bring life and color, tuck small flowering plants or herbs between the stones, letting them spill naturally over the edges. Over time, creeping thyme, violas, or strawberries can grow through the gaps, softening the structure and creating a living border. This style is perfect for gardeners who enjoy blending natural materials with a touch of order. The contrast between the rough texture of branches and the smooth finish of stones makes the edging stand out, turning a simple border into a unique landscaping feature that feels fresh, sustainable, and full of character. (16) Mini twig fence for fairytale garden pathways. A mini twig fence is a simple yet enchanting way to bring fairytale charm into your backyard. Made from small twigs tied together with twine, it looks like a handcrafted picket fence for woodland creatures, while still serving as a functional border. To make your own, gather twigs of similar thickness, cutting them to short, varying lengths for a playful, uneven look. Tie them together in small bundles or connect them to horizontal supports using strong natural twine or wire. Once built, place the tiny fence along your pathway or flower bed, pressing the ends lightly into the soil to keep it stable. The effect is subtle yet delightful, like stepping into a storybook garden. This edging is perfect for defining pathways, framing miniature flower beds, or adding detail to a fairy garden corner. Over time, moss, ground covers, or strawberries can grow around the base, making the fence feel even more whimsical and alive. Lightweight, recyclable, and easy to replace, this DIY project proves that even the smallest details can transform a backyard into a magical sanctuary filled with character and charm. (17) Branch mosaic border creating artistic patterns in soil. A branch mosaic border is a beautiful way to transform ordinary twigs into something truly artistic for your garden. By cutting branches into short, even slices, you can arrange them flat on the soil to form unique patterns that look like rustic tiles. To create this edging, start by collecting branches of different diameters. Cut them into discs about 2 to 5 centimeters thick, making sure the cuts are smooth so the rings of the wood are visible. Next, Dig a shallow trench along your flower bed or pathway and arrange the slices side by side. For added creativity, mix sizes and form spirals, circles, or repeating geometric patterns. Once you're satisfied with the layout, press them firmly into the soil and backfill around them for stability. Over time, the wood will weather, giving your mosaic a silvery, aged look that blends beautifully with the garden. You can even combine the mosaic with small pebbles or colored gravel for contrast. This edging is not only eco-friendly and cost-effective, but it also turns your backyard into a living art gallery where every step along the path feels intentional and inspiring. (18) Twig star-shaped edges with moss and ground covers. Twig star-shaped edging is a playful and imaginative way to bring charm to your backyard. Instead of traditional straight borders, this design uses thin twigs tied together into 5-point stars, creating a repeating decorative pattern that feels whimsical and unique. To make your own, collect pliable twigs of similar thickness. Cut them into equal lengths, then tie the ends together with twine or wire to form a star shape. Once you've crafted enough, arrange the stars side by side along your flower bed or pathway. Press the base lightly into the soil for stability, or secure them with small pegs if needed. The magic of this design comes when nature takes over. Moss, creeping thyme, or other ground covers can grow between the stars, softening the shapes while adding a living texture. Over time, the stars appear as if they've always belonged to the garden, blending structure with organic beauty. This edging works beautifully for fairy gardens, children's play corners, or any backyard space that embraces creativity. It's a simple, upcycled idea that transforms discarded twigs into enchanting borders, giving your landscape both function and storytelling charm. (19) Rustic basket woven twig edging for flower beds. A basket-woven twig edging brings the warmth of traditional craftsmanship straight into your backyard. This design mimics the look of hand-woven baskets, only instead of holding fruit or flowers, it frames your beds with rustic character. To create it, start by driving short, sturdy stakes into the soil along your garden border. Then, collect thin, flexible twigs. Willow, hazel, or grapevine are ideal. Begin weaving the twigs in and out of the stakes, alternating directions with each layer to form a tight, textured weave. Continue layering until the edging reaches your desired height, pressing the twigs down gently as you go to keep the structure neat. Once complete, the border looks like a natural, handcrafted basket laid gently around your flower bed. The charm only grows with time, as moss, herbs, or strawberries spill naturally against the weave, softening its edges. This edging works perfectly for cottage-style gardens, herb patches, or colorful perennial beds. It's not only functional, keeping soil in place and defining spaces, but also deeply aesthetic, turning simple twigs into a feature that feels both artistic and timeless in your backyard. (20) Fairy garden edge of small twigs mixed with moss and ferns. A fairy garden edge made from twigs, moss, and ferns is the perfect way to turn a simple backyard bed into something straight out of a storybook. This design embraces imperfection. Small twigs arranged loosely, softened by living greenery, creating a border that feels whimsical and alive. To build it, gather a variety of small twigs and lay them in a freeform pattern along your garden bed, stacking some horizontally while pressing others upright for playful variation. Between the twigs, tuck in patches of moss or plant creeping ground covers that will naturally spread and fill the gaps. Adding small ferns or even tiny woodland accents like miniature mushrooms enhances the enchanted feel. The result is a border that doesn't just define space. It tells a story, inviting the imagination to wander. Over time, the moss will grow lush and the twigs will weather, blending seamlessly with the natural surroundings. This edging is especially beautiful for flower beds, children's play gardens, or corners of the yard designed to feel magical. It's a sustainable, creative project that transforms the simplest natural materials into a backyard retreat filled with wonder. #21. Painted log edging in bright colors for modern upcycling. Color is the quickest way to signal a joyful garden makeover, and painted log edging makes that joy permanent. Start by cutting short logs of similar height. Sand the tops lightly so paint adheres cleanly. Choose a palette that plays with the flowers behind. Teal against delphiniums, mustard beside coreopsis, coral to echo geraniums. Prime the wood with outdoor primer, then apply 2 coats of exterior paint. For extra durability, seal the tops with a clear, UV-resistant finish. Dig a shallow trench along the bed and set the logs upright, tapping them snugly together so the colors read as a playful, continuous rhythm. Keep the tops aligned for a crisp, modern look, or allow a gentle variation for charm. The painted caps pop against trailing snow in summer and creeping thyme, while the tall lilies and foxgloves provide elegant contrast. This is upcycling at its best, turning offcuts or stormfall wood into a long-lasting border that guides the eye and frames every bloom. As seasons pass, a quick touch-up keeps the colors fresh, ensuring your backyard stays vibrant and unmistakably yours. #22. Log border mixed with pebbles for a contemporary garden. If you love rustic materials but prefer a clean aesthetic, pair logs with pebbles. Cut straight logs into uniform lengths and lay them horizontally as a low curb. Behind the curb, pour a 10 to 12 centimeters strip of compacted gravel. Then top with smooth river pebbles for a minimalist ribbon that catches light and drains water. The tactile contrast, warm wood against cool stone, feels contemporary yet grounded. Set the logs on a tamped sand base to keep them level, and spike discrete wooden pegs behind the run for stability. The pebble ribbon works like a negative space, making coneflowers and geraniums red crisp and intentional, while creeping thyme leaps from pebble to pebble like living confetti. This hybrid border is practical, too. The stone strip reduces splashback on foliage, improves drainage, and simplifies maintenance around the bed edge. As the wood silvers with age, the pebbles stay luminous, giving your garden a quietly luxurious accent that fits pathways, lawns, and vegetable frames alike. It's landscaping discipline with natural soul. #23. Hollowed log planter edging with herbs and strawberries. Turn your edging into a living pantry. Choose stout logs 15 to 25 centimeters in diameter, cut to manageable lengths. Using a Forstner bit or chisel, hollow a trench along each log, leaving thick walls for strength and drilling a few drainage holes through the base. Line with breathable landscape fabric, fill with herbrich compost, and plant a mix of creeping thyme, oregano, and alpine strawberries. Slot the planters end-to-end to define the bed, and peg them discreetly from the rear to prevent rolling. The effect is irresistible. Berries spill like jewels over weathered rims while thyme softens every edge. Water deeply, then mulch the soil surface to steady moisture. This edible border is especially good beside seating areas and paths where you'll brush by and release fragrance. It's eco-friendly, too. You're upcycling windfall timber into a productive, beautiful frame. As the logs mellow to silver, their planters grow fuller, turning your backyard into a cottage tableau where flowers and food mingle without a seam. '24. Driftwood branch edging for a coastal backyard vibe. Driftwood brings instant poetry, light, sculptural, and storied. Collect sturdy, salt-bleached branches and arrange them in a gentle, meandering line along your bed. Overlap pieces so they lock visually. Then drive slim timber pegs behind key junctions and tie with natural jute twine for invisible support. The pale wood throws your planting into relief. Coreopsis glows like sun on sand, while delphiniums echo deep water blues. Keep the soil graded slightly higher behind the edge so flowers appear to rise from the shore. For durability, brush off loose fibers and seal ends with a breathable wood oil. The goal is to preserve the drifted character, not make it glossy. Pair with variegated thyme and snow in summer to mimic sea foam spilling across the line. The result is a relaxed, artful border that feels both curated and effortless, perfect for patios, decks, or any backyard corner where you want a coastal whisper without the kitsch. '25. Charred log edging, Shou Sugi band style, for longevity. Charred wood is both beautiful and practical. The ancient Shou Sugi band technique carbonizes the surface, improving resistance to weather, fungi, and insects while delivering a dramatic, inky finish. Cut logs to uniform height, then carefully torch the surface outdoors, away from structures. Once the wood cools, brush off loose soot to reveal a velvety, alligator skin grain. Seal with natural oil or a modern penetrating finish to lock in the matte look. Set the pieces upright in a shallow trench, tight together for a refined line. Instantly, your flowers intensify. Lilies glow, delphiniums red electric, and coreopsis sparks like sunlight. The edge functions like eyeliner, cleaning up the bed while making color sing. Maintenance is simple. Re-oil annually if needed. This border is a gift to rainy or snowy regions, offering durability without pressure-treated chemicals. It's an elegant, eco-sensible makeover that reframes your backyard with a designer's confidence. '26. Branch trellis edging with climbing plants along pathways. Think of edging that also lifts blossoms into the air. Build knee-high trellis panels from straight twigs lashed in a diamond lattice. Anchor short stakes every 60 to 80 centimeters along the path. Then tie the panels to the stakes for strength. Plant sweet peas, dwarf clematis, or climbing nasturtiums at the base, guiding tendrils with soft ties. The border becomes animated. Flowers hover at eye level when you walk, fragrance wafts, and the path feels like a ribbon through color. Keep the trellis low so it frames rather than walls off the bed. The structure also prevents spillover from exuberant perennials, keeping edges crisp without losing abundance. Refresh twine annually and replace a panel here and there as with weathers. Maintenance that feels like simple craft. Result: a living filigree that balances romance and order, ideal for makeovers where you want high impact without heavy materials. (27) Old fence post logs recycled into backyard edging. There's a special magic in materials with a past. Salvaged fence posts bring rings, scars, even stamped numbers that read like history. Sort posts by height and condition, trimming ragged ends square. If any have metal caps or brackets, clean and leave them. Small relics that tell the story. Brush the wood, treat the bases with eco-friendly preservative, and set the posts upright in a shallow trench, tamping soil firmly. Align for a tidy, classic look or vary heights slightly for a rustic cadence. The result is dignified, not shabby. Blooms look curated against the honest grain, and snow in summer frosts the base like lace. This edge is thrifty, sustainable, and fast to install, a true makeover win. As seasons pass, the wood silvers and the garden around it matures, so the border feels inevitable, as if it's always been there. (28) Half-circle log borders painted white for vintage feel. Classic scallops never go out of style. Rip logs lengthwise to create half-rounds, then sand the faces smooth. Prime and paint with an exterior, breathable white. Think milk paint vibe with modern durability. Lay a taut string to guide a perfect curve or straight run. Dig a shallow channel, and set the half-rounds shoulder to shoulder with the domes facing out. The scallops add instant order and a hint of vintage garden party. White makes colors snap. Purple delphiniums feel regal, yellow coreopsis gleams, and the silver of snow in summer looks crisp against the paint. Touch up chips annually for that always fresh look, or let gentle weathering create soft character lines. It's a quick, affordable transformation that photographs beautifully and lifts any backyard into special occasion territory every day. (29) Rustic log and recycled metal combo edging, colorful finish. When you blend textures, you create energy. Alternate short log posts with reclaimed metal pieces cut into equal widths. Sand and prime the metal, then paint each section a distinct, happy color: cobalt, marigold, raspberry, leaf green, sealing with exterior clear coat. Keep the logs natural for a warm counterpoint. Set the sequence in a trench, log, metal, metal, using hidden stakes behind metal plates and tamped soil around logs. The cadence looks musical, guiding the viewer's eye along the bed. Metal takes paint brilliantly and shrugs off weather. Logs add soul and softness. This border is a conversation starter and an upcycling statement. It's especially effective near patios, play lawns, or veggie plots where brightness feels welcome. Pair with purple coneflowers and yellow coreopsis to echo the palette, while creeping thyme and snow in summer knit the base into a cohesive line. Natural branch and berry bush edging, raspberry-blackberry integration. Turn your border into a harvest. Build a 25 to 30 centimeters tall woven branch edge to hold soil. Then install a simple 2-wire trellis 40 to 60 centimeters behind it. Plant compact, thorn-tamed raspberry or blackberry varieties at even intervals and tie new canes to the wires as they grow. The low weave keeps the bed tidy while the living hedge rises, fruiting in glossy clusters that glow against purple foxgloves and blue delphiniums. Mulch thickly to conserve moisture and suppress weeds. Prune spent canes right after fruiting to keep things orderly. This system is family-friendly and photogenic. Flowers in front, berries in back, with thyme and snow in summer frosting the foot of the hedge. It's landscaping that pays you back, merging beauty, structure, and yield in one elegant line. In summer, a handful of warm berries on the way down the path becomes a ritual you'll never want to skip. And that's it. 30 garden edging ideas using logs, branches, and twigs that prove even the simplest materials can bring incredible beauty to your backyard. Which one will you try first? Rustic log walls, playful twig fences, or maybe colorful painted edges? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your favorite. Don't forget to like this video if you found inspiration, and subscribe for more garden transformations every week. Your support keeps this dream alive, one click at a time. See you in the next video. Happy gardening!